Inside the Magic, show number 351 for December 25th, Christmas Day, 2011. Merry Christmas, everyone. This is show 351 of Inside the Magic, and as always, I'm your host, Ricky Briganti. We do have another great show packed with a surprising amount of Disney news for a holiday week and a whole lot more fun. Before we get started with all of that, I invite you to visit InsideTheMagic.net. There you'll find all of our podcasts, videos, photos, news, articles, and a whole lot more. And if you ever have any news, tips, or questions, you can always write to me at ricky@InsideTheMagic.net, or you can call and leave a message at 407-494-4ITM. That's 4486. And now, let's get on with the show. This week's episode of Inside the Magic is brought to you by Magical Travel. The Disney Cruise Line is closer than ever with sailings from New York, Galveston, and Los Angeles, and of course here in Florida. Book your Disney cruise vacation today for the best pricing and receive a free shipboard credit by calling Magical Travel at 866-207-8387 or visit them online at magicaltravel.com to receive a free price quote. And be sure to mention Inside the Magic to receive your free Disney gift card for qualifying bookings when you book your Disney vacation with Magical Travel. And by Audible, get a free trial to Audible by simply visiting audibletrial.com/InsideTheMagic. There you will find over 85,000 titles to choose from to enjoy on your iPod or MP3 player. Get a free audiobook download as well. And of course, by listeners like you and viewers like you, thanks very much to Jonathan Mack and Mike Milne for your Christmas time donations this week. And of course, thanks to all of our monthly recurring donation subscribers as well, and everybody who's been doing your Christmas shopping through InsideTheMagic.net/Amazon. A big, big help to the show. And now, let's jump right into it with our trip around the world. So once again, Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, 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 and all of that. As I said, this is a holiday week. I was expecting it to be a very slow week in the world of theme park news, but surprisingly enough, it was a rather busy week. There was some pretty good, solid stories coming out of this week, so I'll be getting into that in just a bit. I will also kind of follow the format of last week's show. This week I'm going to be doing the news, then some listener feedback, and then I'll be rounding up the show with some Christmas time entertainment. So whether you're listening to this show or watching the show on Christmas Day or in the days that follow, you should still enjoy the audio that I'll be sharing. Now, that extra entertainment at the end of the show will not be included in the video version of the show, just like last week when we did the binaural audio of the Osborne lights, which hopefully everybody had a chance to also check out the video of that, which we have up on our YouTube channel and on the website. But anyway, the video version of this week's show will have the news, listener feedback, and then we'll end the show with some park recordings and some other fun Christmas treats. I should also mention that next week on the show there will be no video version of the show because it is our super long mega year in review with myself and Paul Barry from A Window to the Magic, about 4.5 hours long or so, recapping everything exciting from 2011 in the world of Disney. So don't miss that. That's coming out on the Inside the Magic feed and on the Window to the Magic feed on January 1st. And, you definitely don't want to miss that one. It'll probably take you maybe a few weeks to listen to the whole thing, but of course we'll be back the following week, January 8th, with regular shows. So with all of that said, let's jump right into the news. And here's a story. Most recently, a new website and a teaser have shown up. This is in reference to what we were previously talking about, where Disney was insinuating that there would be or really not even insinuating, they were saying that there would be a surprise announcement on New Year's Eve regarding 2012, calling 2012 the year of more magic. Well, now there's a website at disneyparks.disney.go.com/1-more-disney-day. Basically, one more Disney day, in which Disney is saying Disney parks will be celebrating like never before in 2012. There's a teaser video on the website that shows some time-lapse footage of some familiar theme park clocks kind of going around and around in a circle. And the rumors are that on February 29th, which of course will be Leap Day of 2012, that perhaps some of the Disney parks will be open for a full day for 24 hours. That is not confirmed, but we'll see if that is indeed the announcement or if it's something completely different. The announcement will be made during Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest on ABC, as well as on Univision Television with Feliz 2012. I'm not going to try to say that year in Spanish. Hosted by Don Francisco for Spanish speakers. So stay tuned. We'll see what the big announcement is very soon. Moving on to the parks now out here at Walt Disney World over at the Magic Kingdom. As we move closer to 2012, certainly some progress being made on the new Fantasyland expansion. Some of the construction walls have been moved back, the ones kind of close to the Mad Tea Party, the teacups, and a little bit of new Fantasyland sort of walkways have been unveiled in the concrete around that area. Some imprints have been put there, some horseshoes and some wagon wheels, so little bit of the hint of the detailing that will be going into new Fantasyland. Along the same lines, I have heard that Dumbo, the current existing classic Dumbo that's just behind Cinderella Castle, apparently will be closing very early in January. Could be as early as second week of January, with the new Dumbo over in Storybook Circus not opening until a month later, perhaps in February. So there could be about a month gap, maybe a month and a half, maybe even 2 months gap there, where the Magic Kingdom is without a Dumbo attraction. I have also heard that there may be a Dumbo meet and greet in the meantime. None of that is announced or confirmed by Disney yet, but if you're planning a vacation in January or February to the Magic Kingdom, just be aware you may not be able to ride Dumbo. Let's move over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, where the website Studios Central is reporting a few filings recently took place from Disney for some queue modification for Voyage of the Little Mermaid, Toy Story Mania, Fantasmic, and the Theater of the Stars. And they're guessing that it could be some sort of interactivity going into those queues, as Disney has been doing in many, many of its queues all over. So we'll have to watch that one and see if that is indeed what it is. And sticking with Hollywood Studios, an announcement came out this week from Run Disney that the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror Marathon is coming back in a bit of a different form. It's going to be the Tower of Terror 10-miler this time. It's going to take place on September 29th, 2012. The 10-mile marathon will finish at the Tower of Terror attraction, and those who race will receive a medal that is inspired by the Tower of Terror. There will also be a villainous post-race party with live music and, of course, villain characters. Registration for the race opens on February 14th of 2012 at rundisney.com. Moving over to Epcot now, the Innoventions House of the Future has been there for a number of years. Of course, it had a few makeover over the years, some things being swapped out and changed, and it seems like it's going to have another makeover coming pretty soon and turning into a green home exhibit of sorts from Green Builder Media. It's going to be a vision house featuring a whole lot of sustainable and energy efficient devices and technology. They're building techniques and living choices, home automation, water conservation, indoor environment, quality, security, multi-generational design and durability. A few of the items that apparently will be in the new version of the House of the Future will be a Chevy Volt electric vehicle. That'll probably be outside, not actually inside the house. An electric vehicle charging station, high-efficiency heating and cooling systems and controls, some LED lighting, generators, water-conserving fixtures, indoor air quality ventilation solutions, generator smog-eating tile roofs, and cultured stone, amongst other things. So if you're big into the green movement, want to save energy, save money, save the environment, it sounds like they're really going to be pushing that in the new version of the House of the Future whenever that does open. Now let's jump coasts over to California, where Mouse Planet is reporting on some recent changes to memberships at Club 33. Club 33, of course, is the exclusive club with a very, very long waiting list to become a member. And, of course, once you're a member, it's very expensive to stay a member. It's located in New Orleans Square. at Disneyland. And memberships are changing for Club 33 for 2012. There's going to be a new Platinum individual membership. Apparently, all new members of the individual kind will join at the Platinum level, whereas existing Gold members can stay Gold. Apparently, Gold memberships are going to be about $3,600, whereas a Platinum membership is going to be $10,000, it's been said. And that Platinum membership is going to be quite different from the old Gold membership. It's going to include an annual pass to the parks, which would be the premier annual passport, giving you access not only to Disneyland, but Walt Disney World as well. In addition, members will be able to distribute up to 4 additional premier annual passports, so definitely a good deal there. And here's the real kicker. Club 33 members for this Platinum level will also get access to the new lounge in the Carthay Circle Theater at Disney California Adventure. Apparently, it's going to be called the Club 1901. You'll also get up to 5 VIP guided tours per year. Gold members, who will kind of carry over their Gold memberships, will not have access to the new club at California Adventure. So it's really a big change into this whole world of clubs. You'll have 2 clubs to choose from. And in addition, another change is that members will only have 50 guest passes per year. So, $10,000, pretty steep price, but you do get a lot for it, and I've been to Club 33. It is a wonderful place to go, and I would love to go back sometime, and I certainly would like to get into this new Club 1901 for the Carthay Circle Theater someday. Of course, it's got to be built and open, but that's a few months away, I would guess. Probably when everything else is done at California Adventure as well in this coming summer. And speaking of that, summer 2012 will mark the opening of Cars Land, and this week Disney offered a look kind of behind the scenes at the progress of one of the Cars Land attractions that was just fired up and tested for the first time. It's Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, which features some circling tractors of sorts, and the video that they revealed, not everybody was really thrilled with it. Definitely seems like a kiddie ride, and a rather slow-moving one at that, but of course they were just still testing, so we'll have to wait and see if they speed it up, or if the theming that is installed around it makes it a little more exciting. You can head on over to InsideTheMagic.net, watch the video, see for yourself. But some additional details that were released was that Mater's Junkyard Jamboree will feature Mater's Junkyard Jukebox, playing a variety of music that will be songs sung by Mater himself. That should certainly be an interesting thing to hear. And so that's going to happen when Cars Land opens in summer 2012. No specific date yet. But coming up just before that, actually away from Disneyland, but very close by, also in California, a different theme park, Universal Studios Hollywood. Of course, we recently mentioned their plans to put Harry Potter and the Wizarding World and all of that in there. Well, another attraction's coming much sooner than that, and even sooner than Cars Land, and it is Transformers. The Autobots and the Decepticons will be battling in California in Transformers The Ride 3D, and Universal Hollywood this week announced that it will be opening in May of 2012, just before summer, just before Cars Land opens at Disney. The Transformers attraction is being created from the same team that made The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man out here in Florida, as well as King Kong 3D in California. There's a new teaser website over at prepareforbattle.com, in which not only are they showing a video teaser for the ride itself, but also a chance to enter your name and email address to enlist in combat training. And then on February 4th, more will be revealed on the website, including chances to win some collectibles and even a trip to the park to see the ride. The actual ride itself on the website is described as, in May 2012, Nest relocates to a covert location at Universal Studios Hollywood as the battle begins with Transformers The Ride 3D, an immersive next-generation thrill ride that blurs the line between fiction and reality. Fusing HD 3D media and flight simulation technology, this epic ride creates an experience unlike anything this planet has ever seen. And of course, this is based on the Michael Bay film series of Transformers, not the old 80s cartoon or any other variation of Transformers over the years. And the ride has actually already opened at Universal Studios Singapore just a couple of weeks ago, but I am looking forward to seeing it in a few months here in the States. But speaking of overseas parks, something has been announced to be opening at Tokyo Disneyland next year. It's actually at Tokyo Disney Sea on July 9th of 2012 will be the debut of Toy Story Mania. It's going to be in the new Toyville Trolley Park, which is going to be a new area of Tokyo Disney Sea. It's going to be themed as an old-fashioned amusement park, and Toy Story Mania itself, the ride is going to be more or less the same as the United States versions, but the entrance is going to be quite different. You're actually going to enter the ride through Woody's mouth. Now let's move to the world of video games, where the newest installment in the Kingdom Hearts series has been announced as a 3D adventure for Nintendo 3DS. It's going to be called Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. And apparently the series of Kingdom Hearts games that's been going on for about 10 years now is approaching its conclusion. The game will feature King Mickey and Yen Sid, and you'll be able to play as two of the most popular characters from the series, both Sora and Riku. There's going to be what they're calling free flow action, a whole lot of new creatures, and even some new Disney worlds that you haven't visited before, like Hunchback of Notre Dame. So kind of stay on top of that. I really liked the Kingdom Hearts series when it first launched back on, I guess that was PlayStation 2. And I haven't really followed all the various iterations of the game since then. But with this one being in 3D, maybe I'll give it a shot. And in other video game news, though away from the consoles, the extremely popular Where's My Water mobile game apparently is making doing very well for Disney for sure, with Swampy the Gator, the new character and series coming out. And Disney has released some additional levels for anybody who's beat the game. There's now 20 all new levels of Where's My Water. There's also a free version now available in the Android Marketplace and the Amazon App Store as well. Of course, it's not the entire game, but you can try a little bit and then get hooked and of course, buy the rest of it. And if you haven't had a chance to catch Prep and Landing Naughty vs. Nice, the new Prep and Landing short yet this year, you can do so online. Just visit Disney's website, the ABC website, and you'll find that along with the other Prep and Landing specials. You don't have to wait for it to try to come back on TV. Just watch it online and enjoy from there. And here's some kind of bizarre legal-ish news that came out this week, though I can't imagine this is going to go very far. Of course, Disney and Pixar are coming out with a movie next year called Brave. And the Atlanta Braves, the baseball team, has issue with that. Disney has been filing for trademark for the word brave with regards to movies, and the Atlanta Braves are saying no, that they have the trademark on the word brave for all uses, that would create confusion having Disney's Brave and the Atlanta Braves. I don't think so. I doubt that'll go anywhere, but they're giving it a shot. We'll wait and see if that really does affect Disney's filing. I highly doubt it. A new CG animated series for Disney Junior was announced this week. It's going to be called The Happy Hugglemonsters. It's based on the books by Irish author Niamh Sharkey, which was I'm a Happy Hugglewug, and it follows a 5-year-old Henry Hugglemonster and his monster family, the Hugglemonsters. It's going to debut on Disney Junior on TV in fall of 2012. And in the world of movies, many people are looking forward to seeing The Avengers when it hits the big screen next year. And Disney just this week announced that not only will The Avengers be on the big screen, but they'll be there in 3D. Previously, the movie was only going to be 2D. Now it's going to be 3D as well. And it hits theaters on May 4th. Here's a little bit of an update to a project that's been going on for a very long time. Walt Disney Studios has released that a movie formerly known as The Snow Queen is apparently now going to be called Frozen. This is all based on author Hans Christian Andersen's 1845 fairy tale, The Snow Queen, and it seems like this may be Disney's next 2D hand-drawn film, though it may not. It might be CG. It's not a Pixar film, but the film has been in development at Disney for more than 10 years now, and apparently it's finally going to be created and released in time for Christmas of 2013. Actually, the current release date is November 27th of 2013, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot more out of this film called Frozen in the coming months, and certainly as it leads up to its 2013 release date. This week, the Walt Disney Company joined in the campaign called It Gets Better with an inspirational new video, part of the Trevor Project. In the video, Disney Imagineers and cast members offered words of advice and encouragement for those who are bullied and feel like there's no hope in life, really, to let everybody know that it gets better. The video opens with Disneyland Resort President George Kalogridis addressing, quote, anyone who has ever been bullied, teased, or harassed for being different, end quote. You can watch the video and chime in with your thoughts. It's a lot of conversation going on about this video. Not everybody is thrilled with its message, its content, and the way Disney has approached it. If you have any thoughts on it, go ahead and head on over to InsideTheMagic.net, watch it for yourself, and chime in. In the world of merchandise and collectibles, the latest profiles and history auction with a whole lot of Disney items just concluded last weekend. And for me, the most amazing piece that was in there was another of the original Haunted Mansion stretching portraits. This one sold for $70,000 in the auction. It was actually an auction mostly filled with animation, cells, and drawings and sketches and artwork and all of that. But there were a few gems in there like this. And you can head on over to profilesandhistory.com to see the results of all of what sold at the auction. Talking merchandise now, of course, it is Christmas, and hopefully everybody's got what you wanted for Christmas. But if you got some cash and you want to buy a really kind of odd new electronic device for your iPad, Disney is coming out with something called App Clicks for $60. It's an external camera that you plug into the docking port on an iPad, which makes it even kind of bulkier. But it adds a 7.1 megapixel camera with an SD card slot and a 4x zoom, as well as a 1.5-inch LCD display. And the little cameras are themed to Mickey or Minnie Mouse, Phineas and Ferb, princesses, and Tinkerbell. And, it's already kind of awkward to hold up, or extremely awkward to hold up an iPad to take a picture, and to have this extra little device sticking off the side of it is even more awkward. But I suppose it'll have some sort of a market somewhere. And speaking of odd news, let's round out the show, or the news portion of this week's show, with some surprising news, I suppose. Of course, this week in the world of regular non-theme park news, the big news was that North Korea's leader Kim Jong-il died, and his successor Kim Jong-un, his son, apparently had visited Japan and even took a trip to Tokyo Disneyland as a child under a false identity. Just thought that was a strange little tidbit of news that came out this week, and we will wrap it up there with your news from around the world.
It's a tip for today.
And this week's tip comes in from Robert from Fayetteville, Georgia, who writes, if there are any Christmas light enthusiasts out there, then you want to go over to Hollywood Studios during Christmas to the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights and ask to speak to a lighting tech. When you're there and watching it, they're real nice guys and will answer any questions that you have for them on the tech side of things. He also wanted to note that he's got his own Disney-themed Christmas light show that he does at his own house. Everybody should check out his website, showing that off at burtonchristmaslights.tk. Robert, thanks very much for that tip. I didn't realize you could head on over to Hollywood Studios and talk to their lighting techs there. It certainly would be interesting to find out more about what it really goes into creating that spectacle of lights, particularly the new canopy that went overhead this year that looked really fantastic with all the multicolored lights dancing and glowing and doing all kinds of crazy shapes overhead and being animated. Of course, everybody can go out to our website and check out the video of seeing it all, but if you happen to be at the park before the lights go away, then that's a great tip. Thanks very much, Robert. Everyone else out there, email your tips into tips@insidethemagic.net. And before we move into some listener feedback this week, I do want to put in a quick word about Theme Park Connection, our newest sponsor here on the show. Grand opened their store and warehouse just a few weeks ago, but they've been online for quite a while on their online eBay store and on their website at themeparkconnection.com. If you didn't visit them to buy anything for Christmas this year, well, maybe you can buy something for yourself if you got some money for Christmas, or just if you want to find some really rare and unique Disney and theme park collectibles, props, costumes, signs, trading pins, and so so much more. You can visit their 4,000 square foot warehouse in person. It's open Monday through Friday in Winter Garden, Florida, just about 15 minutes north of the Magic Kingdom. And there you'll spend hours there sifting through all of the unique Disney items. You can also bring your own and sell them there. They will buy items from you. So if you want some extra cash to then turn around and spend there as well, they will do that. You can visit their online store, find out more about everything that they have to offer, all over at themeparkconnection.com.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Ricky, this is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Inside the Magic, listener feedback.
And so as I said earlier, we're doing the show a little bit out of order again this week. Normally I conclude with listener feedback, but we're going to put it in the middle because then I will conclude with some Christmas entertainment and audio. So let's jump right into the listener feedback here. We've got a couple of trip planning questions right here at the top. First one is from Becca, who writes, my boyfriend and I are planning our next trip for October 2012. It's far from our first trip. We've gone practically every 6 months since we met 3 years ago, but I was hoping to get your opinion on a few things. First, every time we've gone, we've stayed at one of the value resorts, usually Pop Century, but this time he's talking about staying at one of the moderate resorts. I've stayed at Port Orleans Riverside before, but that was some time ago and I don't remember it that well. Do you think it's worth the extra money to stay at a nicer hotel? We don't often have full-service meals, so I'm not very interested in the restaurants in the hotel. If we do have a nice dinner, it's usually in Epcot. Yum. Second, I'm sure you'll say on the show when it gets closer, but around what time of the year do the tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party become available? I want to try to go on Halloween night itself, so I'd like to buy them as soon as they are on sale. Finally, I know it's super early, but I'm already contemplating about what I'm going to wear for Halloween, and I was thinking about a character from the video game Kingdom Hearts. Unfortunately, playing as this character, I'd like to bring the Keyblade, the weapon from the game, with me. I live in New York, so I would need to get it down from Florida somehow. I'm taking it on a plane, and I would need to know if I could bring it into the parks. It's about 3 feet long, and made of wood. Any suggestions? Becca, very good questions, and of course anytime you bring up Halloween, even on Christmas Day, I'm excited about it because you know what, once Christmas is over, Halloween is the next holiday that I am looking forward to, even if it's 10 months away or so. That aside, let me jump back to your first question about the value versus moderate resorts. It really depends on what you're looking for out of a trip. If you spend 99% of your trip in the parks and that's all you want to do and really you're just using a hotel to crash at night and sleep, then the value resorts are certainly perfect for that. If you're looking for a little bit more enjoyment out of your hotel, a little bit more comfort, a little bit more quiet, then the moderate resorts are definitely a great way to go. I really like Coronado Springs. It's wonderful to be able to just kind of get away over there, sort of a little bit away from the parks. Some great restaurants there. You can walk all the way around the lagoon there. You can enjoy the pool, which even in October when you're coming should still be warm. I mean, this is Christmas weekend and we're practically in the 80s here in Florida. It definitely doesn't feel like a cold Christmas at all. It comes down to what you are looking for in your hotel and how much time you're going to spend there. I'd say anytime you're going to spend more time in the hotel, if you're going to lounge around and you're going to in the room, if you're going to go to the pool, if you're going to lounge around the hotel, you're probably going to want to at least go with a moderate one. But if you don't plan on spending a lot of time there, there's really no point, because at that point you're just paying for almost the same amenities within the room, a bed and a shower, and that's pretty much all you need, and the rest of the time you're just going to be enjoying the parks like everybody else. As far as Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, tickets usually go on sale a few months in advance, usually over the summer, so definitely watch for that information. It's usually right when they announce the dates that the tickets go on sale as well, probably July, August-ish, because the first parties are at the beginning of September usually, or third week, about second week of September. So I would say over the summer is when you're going to start watching for that. Now, to answer your third question, I would definitely be concerned about the Keyblade. Disney does not like any guests to be bringing in large items or weapons, and I realize a Keyblade is just a giant key, but you may have difficulty carrying that around. And certainly if you wanted to go on any rides, you're not going to be able to bring your 3-foot-long Keyblade onto the ride with you. At least not any fast-moving rides. Maybe It's a Small World they would let you, but I would be concerned about bringing it. I would definitely bring that up with Disney to see if they would let you or not. It's a fine line there between what you want to bring and could it be called a weapon or not? So definitely sort of a gray area there, and unfortunately I don't have a perfect answer for you. But thanks very much for the email. Next up, more trip planning. This one's from Karina, who writes, who's from the Netherlands, and Karina writes, my folks promised that if I passed my exams, they would take me to Disney World in Florida for 2 whole weeks, and I did, so yay me. Now our problem is that we don't want to go when the parks are overly crowded, and because I'll be free for the upcoming half year, we have no idea when the best time to go or to start planning for that matter. We were also planning on going a day in those 2 weeks to Harry Potter, and we're wondering if there are special buses that go from one park to the other parks in the surrounding area, like, say, from the Disney hotels to the other amusement parks that are non-Disney, and when is the best time to go, and will there be any other advantages of going around that time? Well, Karina, I don't know specifically. Well, first, congratulations on passing your exams and your upcoming trip. I know you'll have a wonderful time. I don't know specifically when you're planning on going. You said for the upcoming half year you'll be free, so I'm assuming that means the first half of 2012. So in that area, don't go in sort of late March or early April, because that's spring break time, and you'll find the crowds are heavier then. Also, toward the end of May, early June, and throughout June is when summer season really hits. Other than those 2 times, you should be pretty good on crowds throughout February. Sort of the latter half of April and early May are some of the best times to go, and of course January, but that's probably too soon at this point. As far as other things going on, the Flower and Garden Festival will be going on sort of in the latter half of that 6-month span if you're interested in seeing that over at Epcot. Not too much else going on unless you want to go to Mardi Gras over at Universal Studios. That's another event that'll be happening during that 6 months. Most of the major events seem to happen in the latter half of the year, but that, of course, is when it's more crowded in the parks. As far as getting over to the Wizarding World, I know I've said this before, that generally buses, you're not going to find a bus service, at least not an official, Disney bus service to Universal. Certainly Disney wants to keep you on property. There are Orlando public buses to get you from one place to another, but that will take you forever. Public buses tend to do that. Here, you don't have to hop from one bus to another. So the best thing for you to do is probably book some sort of a Mears shuttle or taxi. Find whatever's the most cost effective. There are some pretty good deals on those available online, and that'll get you over to Universal Orlando from Disney to enjoy Harry Potter as well. So have fun on your upcoming trip. And now we got a voice message. Let's go over to Michael.
Hey, Ricky, this is Michael from Birmingham, Alabama, longtime fan of the podcast and website. I wanted to call and thank you for the one of the most recent podcast episodes with the Osborne Spectacle of Light binaural audio. I thought that was a great part to kind of coincide with my Christmas here at work. And I love hearing the part where there are people in the background. That's one of the more fun things for me to do. And there was an English-sounding lady in the background at one point that was talking to your kids, telling them to get away from something or something like that. And that was really funny for me, because one of the things that I do while in the parks that irritates my wife and my daughter to no end is that I start talking like an English person, and they think that's just awful, but it's fun for me. So I love hearing the show, love hearing that, and I can't wait for the upcoming Year in Review podcast, because that is one of the ones that I look forward to the most. As a runner, that's one of the ones that I've used with my long run, and it just makes it a lot more enjoyable. So Merry Christmas to you and all the Inside the Magic listeners, and I hope you have a great New Year.
Thanks very much for that call. I'm glad you enjoyed the binaural audio of the Osborne lights. Of course, you go there to see the lights and all the dancing and animation and colors and everything, but it is still great to hear those ambient sounds from the park, to not only hear the Christmas music that is playing there as part of the display, but like you said, to hear kind of the various conversations that go on around you at that time of year. I hopefully try not to pick up any too personal conversations while walking through the park, as well as anything inappropriate for the show. Sometimes I do have to edit out things that other guests say during various recordings in the parks. And actually, while I was recording that that lengthy bit from the Dancing Lights over at Hollywood Studios. I had just started. It was about a half a song in, and I was approached by somebody who I didn't know. I just all of a sudden came up and said, "Hey, are you from Inside the Magic?" Yes. And it turned out to be one of the girls who played Lady Luck over at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando, which I thought was fun. I did not include our conversation in the show because that was a personal conversation. She didn't know I was recording and all of that, so no point in sharing those details, but I just thought that was kind of one of those chance encounters that are fun, things that happen that I experience while recording in the parks, and then I can pass along everything else that happens to you, to everybody. And so I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm going to be sharing some more binaural Christmas time audio here in just a minute. So thanks very much for your call. And yes, the Ear in Review is next week, and sounds like you'll be running for a very long time listening to that one. And we'll wrap up the listener feedback here with an email from Rick that is a sort of a mini movie review, actually. There's a movie from Steven Spielberg, War Horse. It's from Touchstone Pictures, which is a Disney, of course, related picture movie company, distribution, etc. And Rick says that this movie, War Horse, is terrific. I'll continue with what he said. Old-style movie making on a grand scale. Spielberg combines his E.T. side with his Private Ryan side and comes up with a wartime drama that everyone will enjoy, though it does have its share of disturbing war violence, but not as graphic as Private Ryan. It is gorgeous to look at. The photography is Oscar-worthy, and as is John Williams' score, not too overbearing for once. Telling a story from a horse's POV is not an easy trick to pull off, but Spielberg does it well. There are long passages with no dialogue, as in The Black Stallion, that I found refreshing in this day and age of cut, faster, faster, faster. The effects were so convincing that I made a point to watch for the no animals were harmed AHA credit at the end just to make sure. It sure looked like an animal was harmed. One of my favorite movies this year. The audience I was part of loved it as well. Rick, thanks very much. I was intrigued by seeing the trailers for this film. I generally like Spielberg's work anyway, as do most people, and because he does great work. And so after your glowing review there, I will definitely have to check out War Horse, excuse me. And it is Disney related, so all the better. And that is it for listener feedback, but certainly not it for this week's show, as there is some fun Christmas entertainment coming up as we're only about 36 minutes into the show. But before we get to all of that, I do want to put in a quick word about Lanyard Lab. Moving into 2012, if you've got a business you're looking to promote, maybe a convention you're going to be attending and you need help promoting, or you're just going to be going to school or church or anywhere you need to wear a name tag around your neck, head on over to LanyardLabcom. You can customize your own lanyard there. Of course, these are the material you hang around your neck, and you can print your text, logo, whatever colors you want on the lanyards, and customize it all online. Just fill out our quote form, submit that to us. We'll email you back not only with a price quote, but also a proof showing you what the lanyards will look like, and you can just make your purchase right there online. Easy as that. Again, over at LanyardLab.com. So now to end this week's show, I want to feature a whole bunch of sort of a variety of Christmas entertainment here that I'm going to list for you now, and then I'll just include it all at the end without me jumping in the middle, just kind of, right back to back to back to back. And whether you're listening to this on Christmas Day or thereafter, hopefully you'll enjoy some extra Christmas bonus to round out the season here. We're actually going to start over at Epcot with a few songs from the Candlelight Processional on December 18th, so just last Sunday. And this is binaural audio from Epcot, so you're going to want to put on your headphones to enjoy it the most. There's actually some video that I shot at the same time over at InsideTheMagic.net and on our YouTube channel, so if you want to see that, head over there. Following that, we're going to jump all the way across the world over to Tokyo Disneyland for Christmas Wishes in the Sky. Then we'll move into Disneyland Record, which is one that is still available online. Of course, I'm sure you could go hunt down the record somewhere, but it's online as well, and it's a great Christmas time record. It's Mickey's Christmas Carol, and you're probably familiar with the animated version starring Scrooge McDuck and Donald and Goofy and Mickey and Minnie and many more Disney characters telling the classic Dickens Christmas tale. But in this case, it's this one's a special audio version of the story. It's not just the audio from the animated, short film, but it is a special audio version of it. So I'm going to share a clip from that, and then I'm also making it this week's featured item because it's available on Amazon to purchase as an MP3. I think it's just a couple of dollars for the whole 30-minute thing. So I'm going to share a clip. Then you can check this week's show notes to actually purchase. Then we're going to visit Haunted Mansion Holiday, which you're hearing a little bit of in the background right now. We'll share a song from that, a little bit of It's a Small World Holiday, and we'll conclude with the classic from Jiminy Cricket. So all of some extra Christmas entertainment here to round out the show. But before we get to all of that,
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
and this is where we'll round out the regular portion of the show. This is where I'm going to wrap up the video portion of the show. If you're watching on YouTube or on the live stream, the video will end here because everything else that I'm going to include is going to be audio. So you're going to want to head to InsideTheMagic.net to check out the audio version of the show to hear all of the rest of this week's entertainment. So I do want to thank first Magical Travel for sponsoring this week's episode of Inside the Magic. You can find out more about their services by visiting magicaltravel.com. Also, check out themeparkconnection.com, not only to find directions to their store and warehouse in Winter Garden, Florida, very close to Walt Disney World, to browse through there, but also to check out their online eBay store where they list just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of new items for you to browse through and purchase, of course. And visit us over at LanyardLab.com. I just put in the ad a few seconds ago. I don't need to go through all of that again, but I'll throw out the website mention one more time, LanyardLab.com. Of course, between episodes of this week's show, visit us online at InsideTheMagic.net. I want to say thank you to everybody who's visited the website, tuned into the show throughout 2011. We're looking forward to bringing you more Disney and theme park news throughout 2012 and beyond. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. We're really, really close to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is fantastic. So definitely check it out at youtube.com/InsideTheMagic. And of course, InsideTheMagic.net is our main website where you'll find those links and so much more. So let me wrap this up by saying a big Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully you got everything you wanted for the holiday and you had some great times with friends and family. And I do want to thank you once again for listening and for watching each and every week. So Merry Christmas once again. Have a magical week and enjoy the remaining Christmas entertainment in the audio portion of this show. And we'll be back next week for the big ear in review. Goodbye.
Come true for you and me, so there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.